Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This will be part 2 on the 5.7 MERC Cruiser uh, MEFI 3 coming from Australia, Greg Cross. This is your computer. I have it connected. His concern is the IAC, even though here I have in the first part, for those that haven't seen that one, I will put the link in the description of this same video. So he sent me some captures after I did that first video. I wish I had that before, but either way, so he sent me some captures that he has on the boat running on different RPMs, and I wanted to show you what I have. So the calibration on this computer is a E930, as we say here, E930. Looking at that calibration on my folders, it tells me that that is, let me just make this big. Come on. All right, so that is again, E930 is a 350 mag. It can be Alpha, Bravo, Sky, or MAE. So the computer is used for all those same boats. It says it's a MEFI 3 from uh, September of 1999. Production release plus extra audio alarms, and that's it. All right, so that's the most important thing that I got from that. So I know the calibration. All right, so based on what I can see here, let me put this in a little bit of order because we have two different computers in here to capture. So he has, let's say, the knowing good and the knowing bad. Although I still believe the problem is not here and it's on the boat. The reason I'm seeing that is for the same capture. So he has, or we have in here, I want you to see here, so 837.1, and then the next computer is 871. So this is a complete capture on a different computer. Things that I wanted to do is kind of copy the values that he has here. So I'm kind of mimic the same temperature, the same manifold air temperature, the same manifold pressure, and the same throttle position, which is very important. So I see a small difference, like a manifold voltage, the manifold air pressure voltage. In order for me to reach here, 10.14 inches of mercury, which I have in here, I get 1.7 or sorry, 1.27 volts, and he has 1.16. So these could be the sensor having a little bit of a discrepancy, and that's very important because this is a main player. The manifold air pressure sensor is definitely a major player. And we can see that in here as well because let's say this is this computer that I have here. So based on that RPM, let's say, I'm going to click on the 1200 that we have here. And as we see, this is the computer that has 871 hours. So when we have 1200 RPMs, we are getting only 1.08 volts of map sensor voltage and only 6.98 inches of mercury. So which one is the good? Which one is the bad, right? Because well, this he said that this computer, I'm not sure in which engine is this, because they're both right now showing engine 2. And engine 2, even though I know that these are completely different computers. I'm not sure if it's engine 2 or not because it's a little hard to communicate with him due to time zones. But I've spoken to him. He said that he is going, yes, I swapped the computer to the engine, but it run good. Well, it run good kind of because if this is the time where he swapped the computers, I can definitely immediately see that we have problems on engine breathing or vacuum leak because if this computer is reading 10 and then he swaps it and read 6, we're going to say, well, you're going to say, well, the map sensor in this one is reading different. Yes, yes, of course it is, right? But look at the IAC position. So we got IAC position of 43 with the desired idle of 1200. And here, the desired idle is 1144 and the IAC is in 0. And that is very important. And I'm going to show you that in a second on the computer. So yes, if the IAC is completely shut, closed, right, then that extra air is not going to reach the map sensor. And here we got an IAC position of 43. So that's why we have a higher manifold air pressure. But if I put those same values in here, right, I'm given 10.2 and I'm a little higher in the RPM. So as you see, I'm in 1200. Let me put that some in there. I have to do it with this one because I forgot to connect the. Um, so we're gonna have the engine speed and the current one. So that is, let me see. Yeah, those are the two that we want to see, and well, also, and then the IAC, not you. So I want the IAC position and the desired IAC. Yeah, so those should be good enough. If I change and look at this, because this is what the computer is expecting, since the idle is higher than what is expected, the IAC goes to zero. And we can see that here. Since we have 1200 RPMs and the desired idle is 1144, now the IAC is reading zero. And here in the opposite way, right? So, kind of, we had 12 because I don't know exactly when he picked this up. We got 1221, so the computer is around the same desired idle RPM, so it's controlling with the IAC. And this we can see here. So right now we got an IAC position of zero. If I move this, RPM lower than expected, you see what the IAC is doing right now? The IAC is opening. Zero is shut. So the IAC is now being retracted to as max as possible. So the computer now is trying to raise the idle, right? Completely normal. Of course, I'm not getting the difference on the manifold air pressure because this is a simulation. So I'm not really having a massive flow sensor reading through an engine. So all I can do is mimic what you have in the boat. But I can definitely see the computer respond immediately. If I raise the RPM in the other hand and I go higher than what this computer is expecting, well, the IAC is responding immediately. We saw that the IAC is actually in control, and we can see the response immediately right there, and it goes to zero. So yeah, it's a little hard to understand what's going on without being able to talk to him. So all I would do, let me stop the video, and now I'm going to copy the next set of values. I'm going to bring these two down because looking at these other values that I have here, these are in a higher RPM and it seems to be an engine one with a good computer, not the one that I have in here based on the hours, right? A70 and A70. We can see again the IAC of zero, so that's not changing. And we can understand why it's happening that because the side idle is 1088 and the RPMs are actually 1332. Same thing is happening in here. So we are in 1350 desired idle and he is in 1968. The throttle is open to 6.64% and in here 3.2, 3.1. So this is a little higher. If I compare this to the ones that I bring down, let me pick this one up. Engine one, should have just left those. Yeah, let me, I know I'm going back and forth, but this is very important to analyze the data. Yeah, 1200. So engine two with the bad computer, engine one with the good computer. All right, so if we see the idle, throttle position 4.3, throttle position 3.1. So we are definitely seeing discrepancies on the idle itself because when this computer is in 4.3, my idle is at 1200. Where this computer is in 3.1, my idle is 1300. So this computer has a higher idle. And this is not abnormal. It's impossible to copy two computers exactly the same. The maps are not the same. The maps were done as a tune, let's say, per that motor, and the computer will adjust and it will learn that motor. We can also see that based on the idle, this computer has 1332 RPMs and the map sensor is in 0.98, but the IAC is closed. And this one we have the IAC at 43 steps. So this is where it's a little different to understand what's happening without having the complete vehicle, right? The complete boat, and then do the data analysis. All right, so let me just try to mimic this order set of values again, engine one. I think I closed the one. So let me copy those values in here and go from there. All right, I am mimicking or trying to mimic these values. So coolant temperature 159.8, 158.5. So 1 degree, that's not going to make any difference. A manifold or temperature of 120.6, 120.7. So pretty much the same. Throttle position of 3.12. Throttle position of 3.1. So that's sorry that is covered, but that is, believe me, that is what it is. And then RPMs 1332, 1350. This is in the computer that has 870 hours. This computer has 840, so this is the no embed computer. The IAC is doing the exactly same as zero based on what I see here, zero, right? And I will have to put only the manifold air pressure of 6.21, which I haven't changed that. So we have right now 10.1, so I have to put 6.2 on the map. Let me change that. All right, we got a 6.2, map sensor value 057, map sensor value 0982. So this could be based on my battery voltage compared to his battery voltage. I don't have, oh yeah, battery voltage of 14, and I have battery voltage of 13. So that could be a little bit of what we're seeing in here. Although if I change the voltage on the map sensor to 0.98, right? So let me just do that. Because if I go to 0.98, I might change it. Oh, sorry, I pick up the wrong one. That's my manifold air temperature, which is not really doing much. So if I go 0.98, again around there 0.98, I'm actually reading 8.3 inches of mercury. So that's where I see a bit of a difference from one computer to the other without having the other computer. Now I'm adjusting the throttle position. Without having the other computer, which is a little hard, the only thing that I can believe is, yes, we have a little bit of a difference on calibration values from one to another. Not enough to really say that this computer has absolutely anything wrong with it. Injector values are pristine. When I see these values being so nice and steady as they are now, I don't see anything wrong with this computer. I've been following you, Craig, on all the values that we have here. And yes, the only thing that I can consider is you might have a problem on the boat. He insists that if he puts the good computer on the bed engine, it runs good. I I mean I completely agree. It can happen, and why? Because the maps are, like I said in here, the maps are not exactly one perfect to the other, and that is impossible to adjust. And I have seen computers that change a little bit, and an engine that has, again, because let's say, these difference on the maps is a map manifold air pressure, which is again a main player. If this computer reads only, like I said in here, because this is the known good computer, right? Is reading with 0.98, 6.2 inches of mercury, manifold air pressure, and then this one will read 8 point something. That will make this engine run a little richer. It will, realistically, I don't consider that will be a big of a difference because, again, if I put this into 0.98, let's do that one more time and look at that injector timing. So we are in 0.98, kind of like the same voltage. Our injection time went 1.8. In this time, he has injection time 1.77. You see what I mean? So it's not really a huge amount of difference. So this will not, for as with my experience, this will not create a problem. I'm gonna have to keep following up with Greg All I can do is try to mimic again these values. Now I understand which computer I have based on the hours and which one he has. I would recommend for anyone that has a twin engine boat and has problems with one computer to please send me his computer so I can test computer to computer and I can tell you if the problem is there or not. Based on what I have here, I honestly don't see a problem. Spark Advance and everything is matching pretty closely. Because if we see here, right here, Spark Advance 14.54, we have a Spark Advance 14.9, and this is based on what I just put in here as that mass airflow sensor being in there. If I go down to like the 6.1, no, it looks like the Spark Advance is steady there. So yeah, no, I don't see nothing that really states, or tell me, okay, we got definitely a problem with the computer. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the video here. This is already 15 minutes, and I'm trying to help him. He's across the world, and definitely I'm trying to help him out. We're trying to narrow down where the problem might be. I don't see the problem being on the computer. I still follow my data based on what you send me, based what I have in here. I don't see differences that I can say, okay, no, this is definitely the problem in the computer. I don't see that. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.